As the world grows quiet and the weight of the day begins to loosen, your mind steps softly into a gentler rhythm. The night invites you to rest, not with urgency, but with the calm assurance that you are safe here, held in a space where thoughts can unwind without pressure. This is the hour when the mind whispers instead of speaks, when feelings rise like slow-moving tides, and when the softness of darkness becomes a kind of comfort all its own. And for a moment, everything feels still, as though time has paused just long enough for you to breathe a little deeper. Tonight, you will drift through 100 gentle facts about dreams, tiny wonders shaped from psychology, memory, and the quiet science of sleep. Each one will guide you further into calm, easing your thoughts into softness. In this quiet journey, you'll wander through the landscapes of your dreaming mind, discovering the tender ways it heals, imagines, and restores you. Let the night settle around you, warm and unhurried. Let your breath slow. Here, you are surrounded by gentleness, and as you listen, your dreams will begin their own soft awakening inside you. Sometimes, as the day loosens its hold, the mind begins to speak in a quieter voice, a voice too soft to rise above the noise of waking life. It drifts in like a warm breath, carrying fragments of memory, feelings unspoken, and little flashes of imagination. In this gentle space, the first hints of dreaming begin to shimmer, not as full stories yet, but as tender impressions that settle over you like dusk sliding across a quiet room. And as the body sinks deeper into rest, that whisper grows clearer, becoming a language shaped by everything you felt but never said. For a moment, everything feels still, and in that stillness, the mind becomes its most honest storyteller, opening a door toward the quiet science behind the dreams to come. Sometimes, as evening settles across your thoughts, the mind begins to speak in a quieter voice, one too soft to rise during the noise of the day. It drifts in gently, carrying feelings you set aside, memories you barely noticed, and small impressions waiting for rest to uncover them. In this softened space, the earliest hints of dreaming appear not as stories yet, but as warm ripples moving through the inner dark. With each slow breath, your body releases its weight, and the mind answers with a whisper shaped by truth and tenderness. For a moment, everything becomes calm, and in that calm, the mind turns honest, opening the first doorway into the quiet science behind the dreams that are slowly forming. Around you, as the night deepens gently now. Have you ever wondered why the brain chooses to dream at all when the world grows quiet? In the hush of sleep, the mind begins sorting through emotions, memories, and tiny fragments of the day, weaving them into gentle patterns that help you feel lighter by morning. It is the brain's way of keeping balance, releasing what feels heavy and softening what stayed tangled inside. Dreams become a safe place for feelings that needed space to breathe, a private chamber where thoughts loosen and shift into calmer shapes. Sometimes the mind creates scenes simply to soothe you, and sometimes it forms them to understand you. And for a moment, everything feels steady. In that steadiness, the science behind dreaming waits, warm and patient. Inside you, a quiet clarity begins rising. There comes a gentle moment when wakefulness loosens, and the mind begins to drift toward the first soft layer of sleep. Thoughts that once held their shape start to blur at the edges, becoming lighter, slower, almost weightless. Your breathing steadies without effort, finding its own easy rhythm as the body sinks deeper into comfort. In this quiet descent, awareness softens like fading candlelight, and the world around you feels slightly farther away. Small images rise and dissolve, harmless and slow, guiding you toward a peaceful threshold. And for a moment, everything seems suspended in a calm, floating hush. In that hush, the mind prepares itself for deeper dreaming, letting the first shadows of rest settle gently across your senses. Here the night begins shaping dreams with quiet, tender intention. There is a soft beauty in the way the senses begin to quiet as sleep approaches, each one dimming like lights in a slowly settling room. Sounds grow rounder and more distant, slipping into the background until they feel almost like memory. The eyes, even closed, release their tension, letting darkness become a gentle blanket rather than an empty space. Touch softens, too, turning every surface into something warmer, calmer, easier to rest within. Smells and tastes fade into subtle impressions, barely there, simply drifting. And for a moment, everything feels hushed beneath an invisible calm. In that growing stillness, the mind finds space to wander inward, preparing the pathways that lead into dreaming, where the quiet becomes a tender guide. Here, softness gathers gently, carrying you toward deeper rest. There is a moment when the brain gently changes its rhythm, drifting from the edges of wakefulness into the softer currents of sleep. Electrical patterns begin to settle, moving like slow waves crossing a quiet shore. Alpha activity loosens, giving way to softer theta pulses that open a doorway into drifting thoughts and delicate inner images. You may not feel the shift, yet something inside becomes lighter, as if the mind has slipped into a warm, dim current that carries it without effort. And for a moment, everything feels spacious and calm. In that gentle spaciousness, the brain prepares the landscapes where dreams will later unfold, forming the soft bridge between thought and imagination. Here, in this early stillness, the night begins to guide you inward now. As sleep deepens, the body enters a stillness that feels almost like settling into a warm cocoon. Muscles release their lingering tension, allowing the limbs to grow heavy and calm in the darkened quiet. Breathing becomes slower, deeper, finding a natural rhythm that rocks the mind into further ease. The heartbeat softens too, steady and unhurried, echoing gently through the silence, and for a moment everything feels suspended in a peaceful hush. In this softened state, the mind begins drifting farther from waking life, carried by a quiet that feels safe and endlessly inviting. Here, the boundary between thought and dream thins, letting thoughts fade like distant echoes carried by a tender, quiet night around you softly. There is a gentle cleansing that begins as the mind settles deeper into sleep, a quiet sorting of everything the day placed within you. Thoughts that once felt tangled slowly loosen, drifting into softer shapes that no longer press against your awareness. Emotions find room to breathe, easing themselves into calmer patterns, as if the night is carefully smoothing the creases left behind by waking hours. Memories shift into the background, arranging themselves in ways that feel lighter and more balanced. And for a moment, everything grows peacefully clear inside you. In this tender reset, the brain prepares itself for dreaming, creating a quiet space where stories can rise without weight. Here, in this soft inner hush, the night begins to reorganize your world gently, carrying you deeper still. Just before dreams fully bloom, there is a subtle lift inside the mind, a feeling almost like floating through a dim, quiet space. The body remains heavy, and calm, yet the mind begins to shimmer with small fragments of imagery waiting to take shape. Breathing moves in easy waves, and a gentle anticipation settles beneath the stillness, not urgent, simply present. Electrical patterns rise softly, hinting at the vivid dreaming soon to come. And for a moment, everything feels light, as though the mind is gathering its colors before painting the night stories. In this quiet rise, the brain prepares to open the door into deeper dream worlds, letting the first traces of imagination drift slowly forward, guiding you toward the realm where dreams grow bright and tender. There is a moment when the mind begins to glow with tiny fragments of imagery, soft sparks rising from the quiet depths of sleep. Shapes appear without effort, drifting in and out like faint lanterns moving through fog. They're not full dreams yet, only gentle hints of stories waiting to form. A color here, a sound there, a feeling that has no clear name. And for a moment, everything feels beautifully weightless. These small sparks gather slowly, warmed by emotion and memory, weaving themselves into the earliest threads of dreaming. In this fragile beginning, the mind prepares to step into its deeper night worlds, letting imagination open its first quiet petals as the night breathes softly around you. As the mind moves past the threshold of light dreaming, a deeper stillness settles through the body, warm and comforting. Muscles soften completely, releasing everything they held throughout the day. Breathing falls into a slow, steady rhythm, guiding the mind farther from waking thought. Sounds fade into gentle echoes, distant and harmless, and for a moment, everything feels suspended, as if time itself has grown tender. In this deep quiet, the mind sinks fully into the realm where dreams bloom freely, no longer tethered to the waking world. Here, the night takes you gently, holding you in a soft, unbroken calm that leads you toward the richer dreaming soon to unfold. Inside the quiet of sleep, the brain begins to gather small pieces of the day, lifting fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination the way gentle waves lift drifting leaves. These scattered bits blend into scenes without effort, forming the soft framework of dreams. Faces appear, voices echo faintly, and places shift like watercolor moving across wet paper. The mind does not plan these stories. It simply follows the currents of its own quiet rhythm. And for a moment, everything feels fluid and free. As these fragments weave together, the brain creates landscapes that feel both familiar and strange, shaped by hidden thoughts and soft emotions. Here, in this delicate mixing, the first true dream begins to take form, inviting the night to deepen around you now. Beneath every dream, there is a gentle pulse of emotion guiding the scenes that rise in the dark. Even when the stories feel strange, a quiet feeling often sits beneath them, shaping the colors and movements of the night. The brain's emotional centers stay active during sleep, sending soft signals that turn worries into symbols, hopes into images, and forgotten feelings into gentle echoes. And for a moment, everything feels honest in a way waking life seldom allows. These emotions help the mind understand itself, transforming tension into softness and confusion into drifting pictures. In this calm inner theater, feelings are given space to breathe. Here, the heart and mind meet in silence, preparing the dreaming world that waits deeper within the night. As the mind drifts deeper into sleep, memories begin to loosen from their edges, floating gently like threads carried by a soft current. Some are clear and bright, while others are faint, almost forgotten, yet they rise all the same. The brain gathers these tiny fragments, an expression, a place passed by, a feeling that lingered, and lets them weave together without rules or pressure. What was separate in the day becomes connected in the night. And for a moment, everything feels quietly familiar, even when the scenes make no sense. These woven threads form the gentle backbone of dreams, creating stories shaped not by logic, but by the emotions those memories carried. In this tender weaving, the mind prepares itself for deeper dreaming still. There is a soft magic in the way dreams wrap themselves in the textures of reality. Sensory parts of the brain continue to glow during sleep, painting sound, movement, and light with astonishing detail. Meanwhile, the quieting of logic allows every scene to unfold without question, letting the heart follow whatever appears, and for a moment, everything feels true, as if the dream were a world you could touch. The brain blends memory, emotion, and imagination so seamlessly that the boundaries of what is real dissolve into warm, drifting shapes. In that seamless mix, dreams become vivid, intimate, and immersive. Here, the night creates a reality made of feeling rather than fact, guiding you deeper into its gentle embrace. In dreams, the mind moves with a freedom it rarely touches while awake. Scenes shift without warning, and meanings bend softly into new shapes as though reality were made of warm clay. A hallway becomes an open field, a whisper becomes a wave, and the impossible feels effortlessly natural. The dreaming brain is unbound by rules, guided instead by emotion, memory, and quiet instinct. And for a moment, everything feels strangely right, even when nothing follows the patterns of daylight. This fluid logic lets the mind explore possibilities it would never consider, with waking caution. In this gentle looseness, the night becomes a quiet playground for the imagination, carrying you further into the soft, drifting landscapes waiting deeper within sleep. Within the dreaming mind, senses return in their own delicate forms, shaped not by the world outside, but by memory and imagination blending in silence. Colors deepen into hues that seem to breathe, moving with a softness found only in sleep. Sounds arrive like gentle echoes, faint footsteps, whispered notes, distant wind, each one shaped by emotion rather than physics. Even textures feel reimagined, warm and fluid, as though every surface carries a quiet glow. And for a moment, everything feels beautifully heightened, yet comfortingly unreal. These sensations rise from within, crafted from the mind's own history, creating a world that exists only for you. In this tender sensory tapestry, the night prepares you for richer dreams just beyond the next breath. Dreams move with a sense of time that rarely matches the clock. A moment may feel like an hour, and an hour may pass in a single drifting scene. The brain creates these stories in bursts, sometimes only seconds long, yet filled with detail rich enough to feel endless. REM periods lengthen through the night, giving space for deeper, more vivid dreaming as dawn approaches. And for a moment, everything feels stretched and unhurried, as though time itself were breathing softly with you. Even the shortest dreams can feel complete, carrying emotion and meaning far beyond their length. In this gentle distortion, the night reminds you that dreaming follows its own rhythm, guiding you through landscapes shaped by feeling more than minutes. In the dreaming mind, scenes change the way clouds drift, quietly, naturally, without needing reason. One moment you are standing in a familiar place, and the next, the world reshapes itself into something entirely new. These sudden shifts come from different parts of the brain taking brief turns in steering the story, each offering its own fragment of memory or emotion. And for a moment, everything feels fluid, as if the ground beneath thought were gently moving. The dream does not resist these changes. It flows with them, allowing each transition to carry you deeper into its shifting world. In this soft unpredictability, the night leads you through landscapes that grow and dissolve like breath against glass, guiding you onward without effort. People appear in dreams the way memories do, suddenly, softly, without needing explanation. Some faces are familiar, carrying echoes of voices and moments that shaped your day. Others are strangers your mind once brushed past in a crowd, now resurfacing in the quiet of sleep. These characters are woven from fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination, each one reflecting a small part of your inner world. And for a moment, everything feels connected, as though every person in the dream has arrived with a gentle purpose. They shift, merge, or drift away as the story changes, responding to feelings more than logic. In this silent cast of faces, the mind practices understanding, connection, and reflection, preparing you for the deeper dreaming yet to come. There is a moment when the drifting images of early sleep gather themselves into something clearer, settling into a scene that feels steady beneath your awareness. Colors sharpen, movements slow into smoother patterns, and emotions find their place within the unfolding quiet. The brain begins syncing its signals, creating a fragile sense of continuity that feels like stepping softly into a story. And for a moment, everything feels calm and gently anchored, as though the night has decided to hold the dream in place. This stability marks a deepening of sleep, a point where imagination and memory blend more seamlessly. In this soft merging, the dreaming mind prepares to carry you into the richer, more vivid landscapes that wait just beyond this peaceful threshold. Sleep unfolds in gentle layers, each one carrying you a little farther from the noise of the waking world. At first, awareness loosens like a softly untied knot, and then the mind drifts into a rhythm shaped by light dreams and drifting thoughts. Deeper below, the body sinks into heavier stillness, where silence feels warm and complete. And farther still, the night opens into the vivid realm where dreams bloom with color and movement. These stages rise and fall in quiet cycles, each one flowing into the next with a softness you barely notice. And for a moment, everything feels beautifully organized, as though the night were guiding you through a calm, familiar pattern. Here, within these gentle layers, sleep begins weaving the deeper stories that will follow. The first stage of sleep feels like stepping into dim light after a long day, where thoughts drift like feathers settling onto still water. Awareness flickers softly, not quite gone, but no longer holding tightly to the world around you. Images appear briefly, then fade like shadows brushing past the edge of your mind. Muscles loosen, breathing steadies, and the body begins releasing the weight it carried. And for a moment, everything feels suspended between waking and dreaming, as though you were floating on a gentle, slowly rocking tide. This is the soft entrance, the quietest doorway into sleep, where the mind begins letting go of form and precision. In this fragile in-between, the night invites you to drift deeper into the calm waiting just beyond. As you drift into the second stage of sleep, A gentle protective layer settles around your awareness, like soft curtains closing against the world. The mind grows quieter, sheltered by brief bursts of brain activity that guard your rest from interruptions. These tiny sparks, called spindles and subtle waves, move through the brain like calming ripples, smoothing out the lingering edges of wakefulness. Sounds fade into harmless background murmurs, and the body settles into deeper stillness, no longer alert to every shift in the room. And for a moment, everything feels safely wrapped in a warm, invisible cocoon. Here, sleep steadies itself, forming a quiet shield that allows the mind to drift further inward. This gentle protection prepares you for the deeper calm waiting below. In deep sleep, the world falls away entirely, leaving only a heavy, soothing stillness that fills the body like warm night air. Thought becomes distant, almost silent, as slow waves sweep through the brain in unhurried, peaceful movements. Muscles relax fully, releasing every last thread of tension, and the heartbeat settles into a slow, steady rhythm that feels ancient in its calm. And for a moment, everything feels anchored, as though you have sunk into the very foundation of rest. This stage restores the body with quiet devotion, mending, strengthening, and settling what the day strained. In this profound silence, dreams become faint and simple, more feeling than story. Here, deep within the night, the mind finds its most complete rest before rising again. In the quiet depth of deep sleep, dreams drift in gentle, muted forms, soft as distant echoes. They move without urgency, carrying only the faintest impressions of places or faces, more like ripples of emotion than full stories. Colors feel dimmed, shapes remain loose, and time stretches into something warm and formless. And for a moment, everything feels slow, as though the mind were dreaming beneath a calm, heavy blanket. These simple dreams serve a quiet purpose, offering the brain space to restore itself without the vivid swirl of emotion found later in the night. Here, thoughts are reduced to their softest outlines, just enough to keep the mind drifting peacefully. In this muted dreaming, the night continues its gentle work, preparing you for the cycles above. As the night shifts, the brain begins to stir gently, rising from deep stillness into a lighter, more active rhythm. Electrical patterns brighten, like distant lights returning at dawn, yet the body remains still and heavy, held in quiet safety. Breathing changes ever so slightly, taking on a subtle rhythm that hints at the dreaming soon to come. And for a moment, everything feels expectant, like the air just before rain. The mind starts to gather fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination, drawing them toward the surface. This transition marks the delicate climb toward REM, where dreams will grow vivid and fluid. In this calm rising, the night prepares your inner world for its most colorful and expressive stories, waiting just ahead. When REM arrives, the mind opens into a world brighter and softer than anything seen in daylight. Colors bloom with impossible depth, movements flow like warm tides, and emotions rise in gentle, sweeping waves. The brain becomes deeply active, stitching together scenes with effortless creativity, while the body rests in complete stillness. And for a moment, everything feels alive in a quiet, tender way, as though the night itself were telling stories just for you. Sounds echo with clarity, faces appear with familiar warmth, and places shift into dreamlike versions of themselves. In this vivid realm, imagination has no boundaries, guided only by feeling. Here, the dreaming mind becomes a quiet artist, painting worlds from memory, hope, and hidden emotion as the night carries you softly forward. As the night unfolds, each REM cycle stretches a little farther, offering more space for dreams to unfurl. Early in the night, these moments are brief, like small windows opening and closing gently. But with every return, the cycles lengthen, allowing dreams to grow deeper, richer, and more expressive. The brain warms into its rhythm, finding comfort in the familiar rise of activity. And for a moment, everything feels like a slow expansion, a gentle unfolding of the inner world. This lengthening is the mind's way of giving emotions more room, letting thoughts settle into softer shapes before morning comes. By the final hours of sleep, REM lingers like a long, peaceful breath. Here, the night offers its most vivid dreaming, held in quiet, patient stillness. In the final stretches of night, dreams often take on a deeper, more emotional color, shaped by everything the mind has quietly processed until now. Scenes become fuller, more connected, carrying threads of meaning that feel gentle yet important. These late-night dreams often reflect the feelings that settle deepest within you, hopes you didn't voice, worries that softened in the dark, memories that needed space to unfold. And for a moment, everything feels quietly honest, as though the heart were speaking in images instead of words. The mind uses this late dreaming to weave understanding, turning scattered emotions into soft clarity. Here, in these rich early morning moments, dreams offer a kind of quiet truth, guiding you gently toward the calm of a new day waiting just beyond sleep. As the REM cycle fades, the mind rises gently toward lighter sleep, drifting upward like a quiet tide, returning to shore. The vivid edges of dreams begin to loosen, softening into faint colors and distant echoes. Breathing steadies, the heartbeat finds an easy rhythm, and the body remains warm in its cocoon of rest. And for a moment, everything feels peaceful, as though the night were smoothing the final traces of dreaming from your thoughts. This return to lighter sleep prepares the mind for another cycle, offering a gentle pause before deeper dreaming begins again. In this soft, upward drift, the night restores balance, creating space for calm to settle. Here, the mind floats freely, ready to slip once more into the tender rhythm of dreaming. A falling dream often begins with a sudden shift, a quiet drop that seems to come from nowhere, pulling you gently through the dark. Yet, even as the sensation surprises you, it carries a strange softness, like drifting through open air rather than plunging into danger. These dreams often rise when life itself is changing, when the ground beneath your routine shifts, or when you're stepping into something new. The brain mirrors that uncertainty with a simple image, letting the body feel what the heart is still learning to understand. And for a moment, everything feels suspended, caught between fear and freedom. This falling isn't a warning, it is release, a way for the mind to test balance without harm. Here, the night helps you navigate change with quiet honesty. Dreams where you find yourself running often appear when the mind is gently trying to ease tension you carried through the day. The chase may feel urgent, yet the deeper meaning is softer. It is the brain practicing how to face what worries you. Whether the pursuer is clear or shapeless, the feeling beneath it often reflects something you've been avoiding or something unfinished in your waking world. And for a moment, everything feels heightened, as if your steps echoed through a long, silent corridor. But even in the intensity, these dreams serve a protective purpose, allowing your emotions to move instead of staying trapped. In this quiet rehearsal of courage, the night helps your heart grow steadier, guiding you toward inner calm without ever placing you in real danger. When you rise into the air within a dream, it often feels effortless, as though gravity has kindly stepped aside just for you. The ground drifts away, the sky opens wide, and something within you lifts with a quiet sense of freedom. These dreams often appear during moments of growth, when confidence begins to unfurl or when the heart is finally ready to release old weight. And for a moment, everything feels open and full of possibility, as if the night was showing you how light you can become. The wind in these dreams is gentle, carrying you without struggle, reminding you that liberation can be soft, not forceful. In this floating calm, the mind offers a glimpse of who you are becoming, guiding you toward gentle self-trust. There are nights when the dream world twists into unfamiliar hallways or shifting paths, leaving you searching without knowing exactly for what. These moments of confusion often reflect the quiet puzzles of waking life, decisions not yet made, emotions not yet named, thoughts still settling into clarity. The mind recreates this uncertainty as winding places and unclear directions, allowing you to explore what feels unresolved. And for a moment, everything feels hazy, yet strangely gentle, as though the night encourages you to wander without fear. Being lost in a dream is not failure, it is exploration, a safe space to feel your way through inner questions. In this soft confusion, the mind begins sorting the pieces, guiding you toward the understanding that waits just beneath your waking thoughts. When someone you care about appears in a dream, it often feels like a quiet visit, gentle and familiar. Their presence drifts into the scene without explanation, shaped not by logic, but by the soft pull of connection. These dreams rise from the places where memories and feelings meet, reminding you of bonds that continue to live inside you. Sometimes the loved one speaks. Sometimes they simply stand beside you, and for a moment, everything feels warm and steady, as if time has softened around the two of you. The mind brings these faces forward to offer comfort, to preserve closeness, or to soothe spaces where the heart still holds tenderness. In these quiet reunions, dreams protect the connections that matter most, letting you feel held even in sleep. Sometimes the dreaming mind returns you to places you once walked, childhood rooms, quiet streets, open fields where memories still breathe softly. These familiar settings rise not because the brain copies them perfectly, but because they hold emotional footprints, small traces of comfort or meaning. Walls may look different, skies may shift in color, yet something in the dream still feels unmistakably known. And for a moment, everything feels steady, anchored by the gentle recognition of where you've been. These places reappear when the heart seeks grounding, or when a memory quietly asks to be acknowledged. In bringing you back to them, the mind offers a sense of security, reminding you that parts of your past remain soft, warm, and safe to revisit in the quiet of sleep. There are nights when dreams drift without structure, unfolding as gentle fragments that never settle into a full story. Images rise and fade, scenes shift softly, and nothing demands direction or meaning. These are the dreams born from a mind easing itself into rest, releasing tension bit by bit. And for a moment, everything feels weightless, as though your thoughts were floating in a warm, quiet current. The brain uses these formless moments to settle what the day stirred up, letting emotions unwind without needing resolution. Nothing must make sense here. Nothing must be understood. This soft wandering is its own kind of healing. In these drifting, plotless dreams, the night simply allows you to breathe, to reset, and to be gently carried by calm. Some dreams speak in images rather than words, offering symbols shaped from feelings hidden just beneath your waking awareness. A doorway may appear when you're ready for change. Water may rise when emotions seek expression, and distant figures may echo thoughts you haven't named yet. These symbols aren't puzzles to be solved, but reflections of your inner world, softened by the quiet of night, and for a moment, everything feels meaningful in a way you can't fully explain. The dreaming mind uses metaphor naturally, turning emotion into imagery as effortlessly as breath becomes mist in cold air. In these symbolic scenes, the heart expresses itself gently and safely, allowing understanding to bloom slowly. Here, dreams become mirrors, offering quiet insight wrapped in tenderness. Dreams often slip away the moment you wake, fading like mist touched by morning light. The mind releases them gently, not out of neglect, but to protect the clarity needed for the day ahead. During sleep, certain chemicals that anchor memory grow quiet, allowing the brain to wander freely without holding on to every detail. And for a moment, everything feels soft and ungraspable, as if the night were reminding you that not every story needs to be carried forward. Forgetting is its own form of calm, a way for the mind to keep only what brings balance. In this tender letting go, dreams complete their work quietly, leaving behind only the emotional traces you needed, while the rest dissolves into peaceful silence. When a dream returns again and again, it often carries a quiet message, shaped by something in your life still unfolding. These recurring scenes rise not to unsettle you, but to draw gentle attention to emotions waiting to be understood. The mind revisits familiar symbols the way waves revisit the shore, each time softening what once felt confusing or heavy. And for a moment, everything feels strangely familiar, as though the night were guiding you back to a place you've been meaning to explore. These repeated dreams offer continuity, a safe space for inner questions to unwind slowly. In their gentle persistence, the mind cares for what needs time, returning to the same images until they settle into meaning, calm, or quiet resolution. Even as your body sinks into deep rest, the brain continues its quiet work, glowing softly beneath the surface of sleep. It drifts through waves of activity, tending to memories, calming emotions, and weaving the first threads of dreams. Some regions settle, others brighten, creating a gentle balance that keeps you safe while you drift far from waking life. And for a moment, everything feels both peaceful and alive, as though the mind were breathing in its own rhythm. Sleep is not silence. It is a softer kind of motion, a calm orchestration happening behind closed eyes. In this delicate harmony, the brain restores itself with tender precision, preparing you to wake clearer, lighter, and steadier than before, held gently by the quiet intelligence unfolding through the night. Even on the nights when morning brings no memory, your mind has spent its hours weaving scenes in the dark. Dreaming is as natural as breathing, a quiet rhythm the brain follows whether or not you awaken with images intact. Some dreams are vivid and bright, others pass like soft shadows, leaving only a faint emotional warmth behind. And for a moment, everything feels universal, as if this nightly wandering connects you to everyone who has ever slept beneath the same sky. The mind dreams to heal, to balance, to release, to imagine. Its reasons gentle and instinctive. Forgetting doesn't mean dreaming didn't happen. It simply means the work was done quietly. In these unseen stories, the night touches every mind, offering rest in its own tender way. As you sleep, the mind begins softening the weight you carried through the day, turning sharp emotions into gentler shapes. Stressful moments are lifted, examined, and eased in ways you may never notice, woven into scenes that allow the heart to breathe again. In REM sleep, the brain lowers the chemicals tied to tension, giving your inner world a chance to settle, and for a moment, everything feels quietly released, as if the night were smoothing the rough edges inside you. These dreams are not random. They are gentle caretakers, offering emotional repair without judgment or effort. Through their shifting images and softened feelings, the mind restores balance. In this tender work, stress dissolves into calm, leaving you steadier by morning, held gently by the night's quiet kindness. Within sleep, time becomes fluid, allowing memories from long ago to mingle with moments from yesterday, as if they belong to the same gentle breath. The mind lifts pieces from different chapters of your life, blending them into scenes shaped more by feeling than chronology. A childhood room may appear beside a familiar face from today, creating a harmony that waking thought would never arrange. And for a moment, everything feels seamlessly connected, as though the past and present were threads of the same soft fabric. This blending helps the brain make sense of experience, organizing emotion and meaning in ways that feel natural only in dreams. In this quiet merging, life becomes a tapestry of understanding, woven tenderly in the dark while you rest. In the darkness behind closed eyes, those who have never seen the world with vision still dream with remarkable richness. Their minds paint with sound, touch, movement, and emotion, creating landscapes shaped from the senses that guide them through waking life. Footsteps echo clearly, textured surfaces appear with vivid detail, and voices carry gentle meaning through the quiet of night. And for a moment, everything feels beautifully alive, proving that dreaming is not limited by sight, but carried by the deeper language of perception. These dreams offer comfort, expression, and exploration, just as they do for anyone else. In this unique sensory world, the mind builds scenes from feeling rather than light, showing that dreams arise from the heart of experience, not only from what the eyes can see. The dreaming mind listens more quietly than you might expect, gathering impressions from your thoughts, hopes, and the subtle emotions you carry into sleep. A gentle intention, set before resting, a calming thought, a memory you cherish, a feeling you wish to hold, can drift into your dreams like a soft echo. The influence is delicate, never forceful, but it can guide the tone of the night. And for a moment, everything feels connected, as though the boundary between waking and dreaming were thinner than it seems. When the mind settles into sleep with kindness, dreams often follow with gentler colors. In this quiet cooperation between awareness and rest, the night becomes a softer place, shaped by the thoughts you invite into the silence before sleep. When a dream turns dark, it can feel unsettling, yet even these moments carry a gentle intention beneath their intensity. Nightmares rise when the mind is trying to ease what feels heavy, turning unclear fears into shapes you can face safely while you sleep. The emotions may swell, but they unfold in a space where no real danger can reach you. And for a moment, everything feels heightened, as though the night were helping you rehearse strength you already hold. These dreams teach resilience, softening the sharpness of fear by letting you encounter it in symbolic form. In their own strange tenderness, nightmares help release tension your waking self may not know how to express. Through them, the mind protects you, guiding you back toward balance and calm. Inside the privacy of sleep, the mind becomes quietly inventive, free from the rules that shape the waking world. Ideas blend together with ease, forming scenes and images that would feel impossible in daylight. This gentle freedom nurtures creativity, allowing thoughts to drift, connect, and grow in surprising directions. And for a moment, everything feels open, as if imagination were stretching its wings in slow, graceful arcs. In this soft mental landscape, new solutions take shape without effort, and inspiration rises from unexpected places. The brain experiments with texture, emotion, and meaning, strengthening the pathways that spark creative thought. In these drifting dreamscapes, the night becomes a silent workshop, offering you fresh ways of seeing the world when morning arrives. There are nights when the mind bends time into something softer, stretching moments into long, drifting scenes that move with quiet grace. A single gesture may unfold slowly, like a leaf floating through still air, or a simple action may feel suspended in a warm, gentle pause. These slow-motion dreams arise when the brain processes emotion with extra care, giving each feeling space to breathe without rushing. And for a moment, everything feels unhurried, as though time itself has decided to rest beside you. This slowed rhythm allows the mind to explore thoughts more deeply, shaping each detail with tender precision. In these elongated moments, the dream becomes a calm sanctuary, letting your inner world move freely at a pace that soothes rather than overwhelms. In dreams, voices rise from a place untouched by effort, forming conversations crafted entirely within the mind. These dialogues flow with surprising clarity, shaped by memory, imagination, and emotion, blending in silence. A familiar voice may return as if the person were truly beside you, while an unfamiliar one may speak with confidence, carrying meanings your waking mind never considered. And for a moment, everything feels naturally alive, as though the dream were guiding its own gentle script. The brain creates these dialogues automatically, drawing from stored patterns of speech and connection to make each exchange feel real. In this quiet orchestration, dreams become a theater where thoughts speak freely, offering understanding, comfort, or curiosity without needing a single wakened word. Lucid dreaming begins like a soft awakening inside the dream itself, a moment when a gentle awareness rises within the drifting scenes of sleep. You realize, without startle or urgency, that the world around you is made of imagination, yet it feels as real as breath. Colors sharpen, movements settle into clarity, and a quiet understanding settles through you. And for a moment, everything feels beautifully balanced between waking and dreaming, as though you are standing in two worlds at once. Lucidity is not control. It is recognition, a peaceful noticing that allows the mind to explore its own creations with tenderness. In this delicate awareness, the dream becomes a calm landscape where curiosity and serenity meet, guiding you deeper into the soft, inner night. There is a moment in some dreams when awareness drifts upward like a candle slowly brightening in a dark room. Nothing changes abruptly. Instead, a soft clarity forms, letting you sense the dream with new understanding. The surroundings feel slightly more illuminated, the air more deliberate, as if the dream itself were pausing to reveal its nature. And for a moment, everything feels slow and delicate, balanced on the edge of realization. This shift into awareness is gentle, arriving not through effort, but through quiet noticing. The mind becomes both the creator and the witness, seeing its own imagination with peaceful distance. In this tender blooming of clarity, lucidity begins, inviting you to drift deeper into the dream with calm, open eyes. In certain dreams, a quiet clarity settles over everything, revealing small signs that you've slipped into awareness. Colors seem to glow with a deeper softness, as though light is rising from within them rather than shining upon them. Movements feel smoother, more deliberate, like the dream is breathing in harmony with you. And for a moment, everything feels subtly different, as if the world is listening. You may notice details that shouldn't exist, or feel a sense of calm recognition that this place is shaped by your own mind. These gentle cues don't startle. They unfold like petals, letting you ease into lucidity without breaking the dream's fragile beauty. In this softened realization, the dream becomes clearer, inviting you to wander its quiet paths with peaceful awareness. When lucidity grows, a serene calm often spreads through the dream, settling over every movement and thought like warm evening air. The usual intensity of dreaming softens, replaced by a peaceful steadiness that feels both grounding and freeing. Emotions become gentle, drifting through you without weight or urgency, and for a moment everything feels beautifully balanced, as though your inner world were moving in perfect harmony. In this calm, awareness deepens without effort, allowing you to explore the dream with a quiet heart. The mind becomes still yet open, sensing every detail with tenderness. This emotional ease is what holds the dream together, guiding you through its shifting landscapes. Here, lucidity becomes a soft sanctuary, where presence and peace exist together in delicate simplicity. Lucid dreams are delicate, held together by a balance so soft that even a small ripple of excitement can loosen their edges. The moment awareness brightens too suddenly, the dream thins like mist touched by a stronger breeze. Scenes begin to blur, details slip away, and the feeling of presence starts to drift, and for a moment, everything feels as though it's slowly lifting out of your hands. This fading isn't failure. It's simply the mind returning to its natural rhythm, where too much clarity pulls you closer to waking. Lucid dreams are quiet spaces, easily disturbed by strong emotion or sudden focus. In their gentle unraveling, the night reminds you to hold awareness lightly, with the same calm you carry into deep, peaceful sleep. To remain within a lucid dream, the mind must move softly, like walking through a room filled with warm light. Instead of grabbing at the moment, you allow it to unfold, breathing slowly so the dream stays steady around you. Calmness becomes the anchor that keeps the scene from dissolving, letting each detail remain clear without slipping away. And for a moment, everything feels perfectly balanced, as though your breath and the dream share the same gentle rhythm. The quieter you feel, the longer the dream holds, responding to your inner stillness with its own. Staying gentle is not control, it is harmony, a quiet agreement between awareness and imagination. In that tender steadiness, lucidity lingers, guiding you deeper into the soft wonder of sleep. Within a lucid dream, emotions become soft tools the mind can explore with gentle clarity. Feelings that seemed tangled while awake unfold more easily here, shaped by the safety of knowing you are dreaming. You can face worries with calm curiosity, step toward hope without hesitation, and allow old emotions to drift through you without fear. And for a moment, everything feels open, as if the heart were speaking in a language made only of light and quiet movement. Lucidity offers a tender space to rehearse peace, to breathe through thoughts that once felt heavy. In this gentle practice, the mind learns new ways to soothe itself, carrying that quiet strength back into waking life. Here, dreams become a soft classroom where healing happens naturally. When lucidity meets imagination, the dream becomes a boundless canvas, shaped by thoughts that flow with effortless grace. Colors deepen, landscapes shift, and ideas sprout like glowing seeds in warm soil. You can create without trying, guided only by curiosity and the soft certainty that anything is possible. And for a moment, everything feels bright and fluid, as though creativity were drifting through your hands like warm water. Shapes respond to emotions, scenes form from quiet wishes, and the mind paints with textures it rarely touches while awake. In this tender openness, inspiration rises gently, revealing possibilities hidden beneath daily thought. Lucid dreams become a silent studio where imagination stretches freely, leaving you with whispers of new ideas when morning light begins to return. There is a fragile moment when a lucid dream begins to blur, and the world of sleep and waking stand so close that they feel like two breaths of the same air. The edges of the dream soften, light flickers gently, and awareness brightens just enough to remind you of your body resting quietly beneath it all. And for a moment, everything feels suspended, as if you were drifting on the thinnest veil between worlds. Sounds from outside may echo faintly, blending with the dream's fading imagery, yet neither place fully claims you. This boundary is tender, a quiet merging where imagination slowly loosens its hold. In this gentle crossing, the night prepares to release you, letting the dream dissolve with softness rather than abruptness. After lucidity slips away, the mind often glides back into softer dreaming, like a tide retreating into deeper water. Awareness dims peacefully, settling into a quiet that feels warm and familiar. Scenes become hazier, movement slow, and emotion drifts into gentle balance once more. And for a moment, everything feels like a long exhale, releasing any brightness left from the lucid glow. Returning to ordinary sleep is not a loss. It is a soothing continuation, where the mind can wander without needing to notice itself. In this calm descent, the dream reshapes itself into something simpler, guided by ease rather than clarity. Here, the night welcomes you back into its quiet flow, holding you in the soft rhythm of unbroken rest. As night settles over your thoughts, the emotions you carried through the day begin to soften and drift inward, weaving themselves quietly into your dreams. Feelings that seemed small or unnoticed find space to breathe, rising gently beneath the surface of sleep. A passing worry may turn into a shadowed scene, while a quiet joy may glow softly in the background of a dream. And for a moment, everything feels subtly familiar, as though the night were replaying the echo of your own heart. The mind uses this quiet time to understand what you felt, shaping each emotion into gentle imagery. In this tender reflection, the day's inner traces unfold without pressure, guiding your dreams in ways both calming and deeply human. When stress lingers after the day ends, it often slips into dreams in softened forms, reshaped by the quiet intelligence of the sleeping mind. Instead of overwhelming you, it becomes symbol, movement, or shifting scenery, something the heart can approach gently. Tension unwinds into images that allow the mind to release what felt heavy, transforming pressure into manageable shapes. And for a moment, everything feels like a slow exhale, as though the night were lifting the weight from your chest. These dreams are not reminders of strain. They are the mind's attempt to soothe it. In these subtle night shapes, stress loosens its hold, turning into something you can drift through without fear. Here, the darkness becomes a space where worry melts into calm. When happiness follows you into sleep, it often softens into a gentle brightness, filling dreams with an airy, effortless feeling. Joy doesn't always appear as a clear scene. It may show itself as floating, glowing colors or movements that feel weightless and free. The mind translates contentment into lightness, letting your inner world rise like a warm breeze lifting the corners of your thoughts. And for a moment, everything feels open, as though the night were giving your spirit room to stretch. These dreams are subtle gifts, reflections of moments that made you smile or breathe a little easier. In their soft illumination, joy quietly nurtures your dreaming world, reminding you of what feels good and helping those gentle feelings settle even deeper within you. When loneliness lingers beneath the surface, the mind often creates quiet dream scenes to soothe that tender space. You may find yourself surrounded by gentle figures, familiar faces, or warm, comforting places that echo connection without demanding anything from you. In these dreams, the heart is offered company shaped from memory and hope, easing the ache of solitude with softness. And for a moment, everything feels held, as though the night itself were sitting beside you. The dreaming mind understands emotional emptiness and fills it with gentle imagery, giving you companionship in symbolic, peaceful form. These scenes aren't reminders of absence. They are offerings of comfort. In this quiet night companionship, loneliness softens, and the heart feels less alone beneath the hush of sleep. When fear hides beneath the surface of your day, it often rises in dreams wearing shapes that feel dramatic yet strangely softened. A dark path, a looming figure, an uncertain landscape, each one reflects a feeling your waking mind didn't have space to unravel. In sleep, these fears step forward not to overwhelm you, but to be understood from a place where no real danger exists. And for a moment, everything feels intensified, as if the night were gently highlighting what the heart is ready to release. These symbolic scenes allow you to practice resilience, to face shadows without harm, to breathe through emotions that once felt too sharp. In the quiet safety of dreaming, fear becomes a teacher, guiding you toward deeper calm. Some dreams rise from the quiet places where your hopes live, places you may not speak of, but still carry with gentle longing. They appear as warm colors, beautiful journeys, or tender moments that feel brighter than the waking world. These dreams unfold like soft wishes opening in the dark, showing you possibilities shaped by the heart's quiet desires. And for a moment, everything feels lifted, as though hope itself were guiding the dream's light. The mind reveals what you yearn for in symbols rather than words, offering glimpses of the happiness you're moving toward. In this gentle reflection of inner wishes, the night reminds you that your hopes are alive, growing silently within you, waiting for their own time to bloom. Emotions often deepen in dreams because the quiet barriers that soften them during the day gently fall away. Without the mind's usual filters, feelings can flow more freely, glowing with a clarity that might surprise you. A simple worry may become a vivid symbol, and a small joy may shine with unexpected warmth. And for a moment, everything feels amplified, as though the heart was speaking directly through the dream without hesitation. This intensity isn't a sign of fragility. It's the mind exploring emotions in their purest form, safe within the softness of sleep. In this deeper emotional space, you learn what truly moves you, what heals you, and what asks for gentle attention. Here, the night becomes a quiet mirror reflecting your feelings with tender honesty. Dreams often give emotions a place to move, shaping them into images that drift across the mind like soft waves. A lingering sadness might appear as a fading path, while a long-held tension may unfold as a storm that slowly clears. These symbols allow your feelings to breathe without overwhelming you, creating gentle motion where stillness once held weight. And for a moment, everything feels lighter, as though the night were lifting emotion out of shadow and into calm. The dreaming mind transforms inner pressure into scenes that let release happen naturally. Nothing needs to be solved. The images do the work for you. In this quiet visual language, the heart loosens, finding peace through pictures that rise and fall in the hush of sleep. In many dreams, emotions move the way weather does, changing gently without warning as scenes dissolve and reshape themselves. A moment that feels heavy may suddenly turn warm, or a calm beginning may drift into something more uncertain. These shifts happen because different feelings rise and fall within you, each asking for a brief moment of expression. And for a moment, everything feels fluid, as though the dream were breathing alongside your heart. The mind allows these changes to unfold naturally, helping emotions stretch, soften, and settle in their own time. Nothing stays fixed here. Nothing needs to. In this gentle ebb and flow, you learn to move with your feelings instead of against them. The night guides you through each shift with quiet understanding. Within the softness of sleep, emotional healing begins in ways your waking mind may never fully notice. Dreams hold your feelings with a tenderness that allows them to unfold safely, turning unrest into calm, confusion into clarity, and weight into something lighter. These emotional movements happen quietly, wrapped in the symbolic language of night. And for a moment, everything feels as though the heart has exhaled. The dreaming mind brings hidden emotions forward not to overwhelm you, but to soothe you, giving each one space to be felt and then released. In this gentle inner process, healing grows softly, almost invisibly. By morning, you rise carrying less than you did when you closed your eyes. Here, the night becomes your quiet companion in emotional restoration. When a dream turns dark, it's easy to feel as though something has gone wrong, yet nightmares are not signs of weakness or failure. They rise when the mind needs a safe place to release the emotions that were too heavy to carry through the day. In their intensity, they create distance between you and the real sources of fear, offering a symbolic world where nothing can truly harm you, and for a moment, everything feels sharp, illuminated by the night's raw honesty. But even this sharpness has a purpose. It helps the heart let go of what it no longer needs. A nightmare is simply a message wrapped in shadow, a gentle attempt at protection. Within its darkness, the mind is quietly trying to lighten your load. When fear hides beneath your waking thoughts, the sleeping mind often brings it forward as imagery, shadowed figures, strange places, or sudden tension. These scenes are not meant to frighten you. They are the brain's way of practicing how to respond to uncertainty. By turning fear into symbol, the mind creates a space where you can face it without real danger. And for a moment, everything feels heightened, as though the dream were sharpening your senses in preparation for healing. These images allow the brain to simulate challenge so that you can feel safer when awake. In the quiet theater of sleep, scary dreams become rehearsals for strength, soft reminders that you are capable of meeting what unsettles you with calm and resilience. When the weight of certain memories lingers, the mind often reshapes them during sleep, turning sharp moments into softened dream scenes. A stressful experience may return in symbols rather than exact details, allowing you to face it with a gentler distance. The brain lifts the emotional charge, spreads it into imagery, and lets the feeling move instead of staying locked inside you. And for a moment, everything feels intense, yet strangely manageable, as though the night were carefully guiding you through something you've held too tightly. These dreams aren't punishments. They're quiet attempts at healing, ways the mind releases tension it couldn't untangle while awake. In transforming memory into dream, the night helps you loosen its grip, leaving space for clarity and calm to grow again. Even in dreams that seem frightening, the mind is working to protect you, not harm you. It recreates difficult feelings in symbolic form so you can experience them without real danger. This is the brain's gentle way of strengthening your ability to cope, softening fear by allowing you to meet it in a controlled, imagined space. And for a moment, everything feels sharpened, as though your instincts have stepped forward to guide you. Yet beneath the tension is safety, a quiet reassurance that you are practicing courage, not facing true threat. These dream rehearsals help reduce the emotional power of fear in waking life, making the world feel less overwhelming. In this protective process, the night teaches resilience, holding you gently even in its darker scenes. When a nightmare returns again and again, it often reflects something your heart hasn't fully released, a quiet tension, an old worry, or an unanswered feeling. The mind revisits these images not to frighten you, but to gently encourage understanding. Each repetition softens the edges a little more, giving you another chance to face what felt overwhelming. And for a moment, everything feels familiar in a way that's both unsettling and strangely comforting, as though the night is saying, "Let's look at this together." Recurring nightmares are the mind's careful way of processing what still needs room to heal. With each appearance, the dream becomes a little less sharp, a little easier to navigate. In this repeated return, the night offers patient support, guiding you toward quiet resolution. When a nightmare fades, there is often a brief, trembling stillness, a space where breath catches softly and the body remembers fear before letting it go. But quickly, the mind begins to soothe itself, drawing you back into safety. Your heartbeat slows, the room settles, and the darkness around you becomes gentle again. And for a moment, everything feels like a long exhale, as if the night were wrapping you in reassurance after the storm. This transition is the brain's way of restoring balance, reminding you that the fear was only a picture, not a threat. As calm returns, the mind prepares to ease back into softer dreaming. In this tender afterglow, the night holds you close, guiding you from intensity into peaceful rest once more. As sleep deepens after a difficult dream, the mind begins its gentle work of settling your emotional world. Feelings stirred by the nightmare soften, spreading through calmer networks that help release the tension they carried. Waves of activity move quietly through the brain, soothing fear responses and restoring a sense of inner steadiness. And for a moment, everything feels like a slow, steady heartbeat returning to peace. This natural balancing is one of dreaming's quiet gifts, turning sharp emotions into something manageable, something lighter. The mind organizes what felt overwhelming, easing it into clarity without forcing understanding. In this tender recalibration, the night helps you recover your sense of safety, preparing your heart to wake with a calmer, more grounded rhythm. After a nightmare's intensity fades, the mind often offers a gentler dream, like a soft light returning after an unexpected shadow. Scenes become calmer, colors warm again, and the atmosphere settles into something that feels like comfort. This shift isn't random. It is the brain's quiet way of reassuring you, of reminding you that fear does not define the night. And for a moment, everything feels washed clean, as though the dream world itself has drawn a deep, soothing breath. These peaceful follow-up dreams help restore emotional ease, smoothing the edges of whatever troubled you moments before. In this gentle contrast, the night shows its caring nature, balancing darkness with light. Here, dream peace becomes a soft blanket, wrapping you again in quiet safety. Children dream with wide, open minds, their inner world still learning how to sort new experiences, emotions, and discoveries. Because everything is fresh to them, every fear, every joy, every unknown, their dreams often become vivid reflections of the day's intensity. Their brains are growing quickly, weaving connections, shaping understanding, and practicing how to navigate a world that sometimes feels too big. And for a moment, everything in a child's dream feels larger, brighter, more alive than it does for adults. Nightmares appear more often not because children are fragile, but because they are learning at a tender speed. Their dreams help them rehearse bravery, process confusion, and release the fears they cannot yet name. In this gentle way, the night becomes part of their growth. Dreams often give emotions a place to move, shaping them into images that drift across the mind like soft waves. A lingering sadness might appear as a fading path, while a long-held tension may unfold as a storm that slowly clears. These symbols allow your feelings to breathe without overwhelming you, creating gentle motion where stillness once held weight. And for a moment, everything feels lighter, as though the night were lifting emotion out of shadow and into calm. The dreaming mind transforms inner pressure into scenes that let release happen naturally. Nothing needs to be solved. The images do the work for you. In this quiet visual language, the heart loosens, finding peace through pictures that rise and fall in the hush of sleep. In many dreams, emotions move the way weather does, changing gently without warning as scenes dissolve and reshape themselves. A moment that feels heavy may suddenly turn warm, or a calm beginning may drift into something more uncertain. These shifts happen because different feelings rise and fall within you, each asking for a brief moment of expression. And for a moment, everything feels fluid, as though the dream were breathing alongside your heart. The mind allows these changes to unfold naturally, helping emotions stretch, soften, and settle in their own time. Nothing stays fixed here, nothing needs to. In this gentle ebb and flow, you learn to move with your feelings instead of against them. The night guides you through each shift with quiet understanding. Within the softness of sleep, emotional healing begins in ways your waking mind may never fully notice. Dreams hold your feelings with a tenderness that allows them to unfold safely, turning unrest into calm, confusion into clarity, and weight into something lighter. These emotional movements happen quietly, wrapped in the symbolic language of night, and for a moment, everything feels as though the heart has exhaled. The dreaming mind brings hidden emotions forward not to overwhelm you, but to soothe you, giving each one space to be felt and then released. In this gentle inner process, healing grows softly, almost invisibly. By morning, you rise carrying less than you did when you closed your eyes. Here, the night becomes your quiet companion in emotional restoration. When a dream turns dark, it's easy to feel as though something has gone wrong, yet nightmares are not signs of weakness or failure. They rise when the mind needs a safe place to release the emotions that were too heavy to carry through the day. In their intensity, they create distance between you and the real sources of fear, offering a symbolic world where nothing can truly harm you. And for a moment, everything feels sharp, illuminated by the night's raw honesty. But even this sharpness has a purpose. It helps the heart let go of what it no longer needs. A nightmare is simply a message wrapped in shadow, a gentle attempt at protection. Within its darkness, the mind is quietly trying to lighten your load. When fear hides beneath your waking thoughts, the sleeping mind often brings it forward as imagery, shadowed figures, strange places, or sudden tension. These scenes are not meant to frighten you. They are the brain's way of practicing how to respond to uncertainty. By turning fear into symbol, the mind creates a space where you can face it without real danger. And for a moment, everything feels heightened, as though the dream were sharpening your senses in preparation for healing. These images allow the brain to simulate challenge so that you can feel safer when awake. In the quiet theater of sleep, scary dreams become rehearsals for strength, soft reminders that you are capable of meeting what unsettles you with calm and resilience. When the weight of certain memories lingers, the mind often reshapes them during sleep, turning sharp moments into softened dream scenes. A stressful experience may return in symbols rather than exact details, allowing you to face it with a gentler distance. The brain lifts the emotional charge, spreads it into imagery, and lets the feeling move instead of staying locked inside you. And for a moment, everything feels intense yet strangely manageable, as though the night were carefully guiding you through something you've held too tightly. These dreams aren't punishments. They're quiet attempts at healing, ways the mind releases tension it couldn't untangle while awake. In transforming memory into dream, the night helps you loosen its grip, leaving space for clarity and calm to grow again. Even in dreams that seem frightening, the mind is working to protect you, not harm you. It recreates difficult feelings in symbolic form so you can experience them without real danger. This is the brain's gentle way of strengthening your ability to cope, softening fear by allowing you to meet it in a controlled, imagined space. And for a moment, everything feels sharpened, as though your instincts have stepped forward to guide you. Yet beneath the tension is safety, a quiet reassurance that you are practicing courage, not facing true threat. These dream rehearsals help reduce the emotional power of fear in waking life, making the world feel less overwhelming. In this protective process, the night teaches resilience, holding you gently even in its darker scenes. When a nightmare returns again and again, it often reflects something your heart hasn't fully released, a quiet tension, an old worry, or an unanswered feeling. The mind revisits these images not to frighten you, but to gently encourage understanding. Each repetition softens the edges a little more, giving you another chance to face what felt overwhelming. And for a moment, everything feels familiar in a way that's both unsettling and strangely comforting, as though the night is saying, "Let's look at this together." Recurring nightmares are the mind's careful way of processing what still needs room to heal. With each appearance, the dream becomes a little less sharp, a little easier to navigate. In this repeated return, the night offers patient support, guiding you toward quiet resolution. When a nightmare fades, there is often a brief, trembling stillness, a space where breath catches softly and the body remembers fear before letting it go. But quickly, the mind begins to soothe itself, drawing you back into safety. Your heartbeat slows, the room settles, and the darkness around you becomes gentle again. And for a moment, everything feels like a long exhale, as if the night were wrapping you in reassurance after the storm. This transition is the brain's way of restoring balance, reminding you that the fear was only a picture, not a threat. As calm returns, the mind prepares to ease back into softer dreaming. In this tender afterglow, the night holds you close, guiding you from intensity into peaceful rest once more. As sleep deepens after a difficult dream, the mind begins its gentle work of settling your emotional world. Feelings stirred by the nightmare soften, spreading through calmer networks that help release the tension they carried. Waves of activity move quietly through the brain, soothing fear responses and restoring a sense of inner steadiness. And for a moment, everything feels like a slow, steady heartbeat, returning to peace. This natural balancing is one of dreaming's quiet gifts, turning sharp emotions into something manageable, something lighter. The mind organizes what felt overwhelming, easing it into clarity without forcing understanding. In this tender recalibration, the night helps you recover your sense of safety, preparing your heart to wake with a calmer, more grounded rhythm. After a nightmare's intensity fades, the mind often offers a gentler dream, like a soft light returning after an unexpected shadow. Scenes become calmer, colors warm again, and the atmosphere settles into something that feels like comfort. This shift isn't random. It is the brain's quiet way of reassuring you, of reminding you that fear does not define the night. And for a moment, everything feels washed clean, as though the dream world itself has drawn a deep, soothing breath. These peaceful follow-up dreams help restore emotional ease, smoothing the edges of whatever troubled you moments before. In this gentle contrast, the night shows its caring nature, balancing darkness with light. Here, dream peace becomes a soft blanket, wrapping you again in quiet safety. Children dream with wide open minds, their inner world still learning how to sort new experiences, emotions, and discoveries. Because everything is fresh to them, every fear, every joy, every unknown. Their dreams often become vivid reflections of the day's intensity. Their brains are growing quickly, weaving connections, shaping understanding, and practicing how to navigate a world that sometimes feels too big. And for a moment, everything in a child's dream feels larger, brighter, more alive than it does for adults. Nightmares appear more often not because children are fragile, but because they are learning at a tender speed. Their dreams help them rehearse bravery, process confusion, and release the fears they cannot yet name. In this gentle way, the night becomes part of their growth. After moments of intensity, the night often settles into a softness that feels almost like a quiet embrace. This gentle peace is no accident. It is the mind's way of restoring comfort, smoothing every rough edge left behind by darker dreams. The calm arrives slowly, like warm light, filling a dim room, reminding you that safety is the foundation beneath every moment of sleep. And for a moment, everything feels still, as though the night were breathing with you. This softness helps the heart steady itself, helps the mind release what frightened it, and helps the body relax into deeper rest. In this tender quiet, peace is not just a feeling, it is a natural response, a soft balancing that prepares you for calmer dreaming ahead. In the quiet hours of sleep, the mind becomes an artist painting without brushes, shaping scenes from emotion and memory. Images gather like gentle strokes, blending into landscapes that feel both familiar and entirely new. Dreams create beauty from fragments, allowing colors to deepen, movements to soften, and moments to unfold with graceful ease. And for a moment, everything feels crafted with delicate intention, as though the night itself were composing a private masterpiece for you. These creations are not forced. They rise naturally, shaped by the quiet currents of your inner world. In this silent artistry, dreams express what you cannot always put into words. Here, imagination wanders freely, revealing the soft, creative language your mind speaks only in the dark. During sleep, the barriers that usually confine your thoughts gently fall away, leaving the mind open to wander without limits. With logic resting and emotion flowing softly, imagination begins to bloom in unexpected ways. Ideas connect freely, forming images and stories that feel effortless, and for a moment, everything inside you feels spacious, as though possibility is drifting through each quiet corner of your mind. Sleep loosens the structures that hold your thinking in place, giving creativity a chance to stretch and breathe. What feels impossible during the day becomes natural in dreams, shaped by curiosity rather than rules. In this tender freedom, imagination grows, nourished by silence and emotion. The night becomes a calm garden where ideas blossom gently in the dark. In dreams, the mind blends pieces of your life the way drifting currents mix colors in still water. People, places, and moments that have never belonged together suddenly merge, forming scenes that feel strangely natural. A childhood memory might unfold beside a recent conversation, or a familiar face may appear in an unfamiliar place. And for a moment, everything feels beautifully seamless, as though the night was stitching together fragments with quiet artistry. This merging happens because the sleeping mind loosens boundaries, allowing ideas to meet freely. Connections form without effort, creating new shapes of thought that waking logic would never permit. In this gentle mixing, creativity deepens, giving you glimpses of insight that rise softly from unexpected combinations. Here, the impossible becomes softly possible. Within the hush of sleep, the mind continues working in ways you may never notice, turning questions and challenges into gentle dream scenes. Problems that felt tangled during the day begin to unwind, reshaped by imagination into simpler forms. The brain searches for patterns, explores solutions, and tests possibilities without pressure. And for a moment, everything feels clearer, as though the night were guiding you toward an answer waiting just beneath awareness. Dreams allow you to step back from difficulty, offering new angles and quiet insights. In this soft mental workshop, creativity and emotion blend, helping the mind find paths that daylight could not reveal. Here, sleep becomes a gentle problem solver, gifting you clarity wrapped in calm by the time morning arrives. History holds quiet stories of dreams that shape discoveries, ideas that arrived not in busy daylight, but in the soft hours of sleep. Great thinkers once woke with melodies, inventions, and insights born from the drifting worlds of their dreams. A scientist saw the shape of a molecule, a writer found an entire plot, an artist uncovered colors that had never touched their canvas before. And for a moment, everything feels wondrous, as though the night itself were a silent partner in human creativity. These dreams remind us that inspiration does not always shout. It often whispers. In offering images and ideas that reshape waking life, the dreaming mind becomes a gentle well of brilliance, proving that, even in rest, you are capable of quiet miracles. Some dreams arrive softly, carrying small sparks of imagination you barely notice at first. A simple scene, a strange object, a fleeting conversation. Each one may hold the beginning of an idea waiting to grow. These personal dream fragments often linger in the background of your thoughts, offering inspiration without demanding attention. And for a moment, everything feels quietly fertile, as though the mind were planting seeds in the dark. Even the smallest dream can become the start of a story, a painting, a decision, or a new way of seeing something familiar. In sleep, creativity flows without fear of failure, letting possibilities surface gently. These seeds wait patiently, ready to bloom when daylight returns. Here, the night nurtures imagination in its softest form. When creativity stirs within a dream, the mind paints with richer colors and deeper feeling than it often does while awake. Images sharpen, textures glow, and emotions breathe through every detail, as though the dream were illuminated from within. These vivid scenes arise because the brain's sensory and imaginative centers work together without the constraints of logic or doubt. And for a moment, everything feels intensely alive, shaped by a quiet artistry you don't have to control. Creative dreams feel vivid because they come from a place where ideas are free to open fully, unfiltered and unhurried. In this luminous space, imagination stretches wider, giving form to thoughts hiding just beneath consciousness. Here, the night brings clarity to inspiration, allowing creativity to shine softly through the dark. As you sleep, the mind becomes a quiet theater where scenes unfold with gentle precision, each one shaped by memory, emotion, and the soft glow of imagination. Without effort, the brain casts characters, builds landscapes, and directs movement with a fluid grace that daylight rarely allows. And for a moment, everything feels orchestrated, as though an unseen storyteller were guiding each shift in the dream. Sound, color, and sensation rise from within, blending into experiences that feel real yet comforting. This inner theater is where the mind rehearses possibilities, expresses hidden thoughts, and explores ideas too delicate for waking hours. In its dim, tender glow, imagination takes center stage, creating a world shaped only by feeling. Here, the night becomes your quiet, boundless stage. Emotion becomes a gentle compass in creative dreams, guiding each image and shaping every quiet shift in the scene. A single feeling can color an entire dream, casting warm tones over moments of hope or soft shadows over memories that still need tending. In sleep, emotions move freely, unguarded by the mind's daytime caution, allowing creativity to grow from the heart instead of thought alone. And for a moment, everything feels deeply expressive, as though your inner world were painting with pure feeling. These emotional currents help the mind explore ideas more openly, revealing connections that waking thought might miss. In this tender blend of imagination and emotion, dreams become a sanctuary where understanding grows quietly. Here, the night lets your feelings speak in color and motion. When morning begins to rise, some dreams leave behind a soft afterglow, an idea, a question, a feeling that seems to linger gently in your thoughts. These traces are the mind's quiet gifts, small pieces of inspiration carried out of sleep. A scene may spark curiosity, a fleeting moment may stir creativity, or a symbol may unfold into meaning as the day begins. And for a moment, everything feels touched by the dream's delicate light, as though the night has handed you something to keep. These inspirations arrive without force, shaped by the effortless creativity of sleep. In their gentle persistence, they guide your waking mind toward new possibilities. Here, the line between dreaming and thinking becomes soft, reminding you that imagination continues even in daylight. Waking begins long before your eyes open. Deep within, the mind stirs gently, as though lifting its head after a long, peaceful rest. Thoughts return slowly, drifting in like soft morning light slipping through a half-drawn curtain. The body remains warm and heavy, still wrapped in the final embrace of sleep, but awareness starts to breathe again, and for a moment everything feels suspended between night and day. A quiet state where dreams still cling to the edges of your mind. This soft rise is the mind's way of protecting your peace, letting you return at your own pace. Bit by bit, clarity warms the shadows, guiding you back to the waking world. Here, you begin to feel the gentle promise of a new day opening. As waking draws nearer, the delicate threads that hold dreams together begin to loosen, slipping back into the quiet places where they were formed. The chemicals that keep memories soft during sleep shift, allowing clarity to return and imagination to dim. Scenes that felt vivid just moments ago dissolve like footprints brushed by wind, and for a moment everything feels fragile, as though you are watching a story fade before you can fully catch it. This forgetting is gentle protection, a way for the mind to clear space for new thoughts and fresh focus. Dreams fade not because they lack meaning, but because waking life requires room to breathe. In this soft disappearing, the night leaves only what your heart truly needed to carry forward. Sometimes, long after morning has unfolded, a faint feeling from a dream lingers quietly inside you. It may be a warmth you can't explain, a small ache you didn't notice before, or a gentle curiosity that follows you through each moment. Dreams often leave these traces, soft echoes of the emotions they held. And for a moment, everything feels touched by something distant and tender, as though the night left a quiet fingerprint on your waking mind. These echoes don't demand attention. They move subtly, shaping mood and thought without forcing themselves into clarity. They remind you that your inner world is always speaking, even when you're not fully aware of it. In these lingering impressions, dreams continue to guide you softly through the day. After a night filled with rich, vivid scenes, the morning often carries a special kind of quiet. It feels like waking into still water, the surface smooth and unbroken. Your body rises gently. Your mind feels slightly slower, as though it's holding on to the softness of what it just left behind. And for a moment, everything feels tender, as if the dream has wrapped a calm around you that daylight hasn't yet disturbed. This morning, quiet is the mind's way of settling the intensity of vivid dreaming, giving you space to adjust. It lets the heart return to its steady rhythm and the thoughts fall into gentle order. In this peaceful transition, the echoes of the dream become comfort, not confusion, guiding you into the day with quiet grace. As the night's final dreams fade, the mind begins to assemble itself with renewed ease, gathering thoughts that once felt scattered. The quiet work of sleep, sorting memories, easing emotions, softening tension, creates a gentle clarity that grows as you wake. Ideas feel simpler, choices feel lighter, and the tangled threads of yesterday seem more understandable. And for a moment, everything feels clean and spacious inside you, as though dawn has swept softly through your thoughts. This clarity isn't sudden. It rises slowly, shaped by the delicate organizations the brain performs in silence. In this renewed calm, problems shrink to their true size and emotions settle into balance. The morning becomes a soft reflection of the night's quiet labor, offering you a clearer, steadier beginning. There are mornings when a dream lingers with unusual weight, carrying a sense of meaning that feels deeper than the images themselves. It may echo a feeling you've ignored, a hope you've forgotten, or a question you've been too busy to explore. These dreams aren't literal messages. They're reflections, shaped from the emotions you've tucked away. And for a moment, everything feels quietly significant, as though your inner world has spoken in symbols instead of sentences. The mind uses dreams to reveal what you already know but haven't yet acknowledged. In this gentle language of imagery, truths soften into forms you can approach without fear. Here, the night offers understanding wrapped in mystery, guiding your heart toward insights waiting patiently beneath your waking thoughts. Some mornings, the calm you gathered in sleep lingers quietly, settling into your breathing and your movements as the world slowly brightens around you. This peace follows gently, not demanding attention, but shaping the way you step into the hours ahead. It softens your thoughts, loosens your pace, and reminds you that stillness can live even in the noise of the day. And for a moment, everything feels lighter, as though the softness of night has left a small glow inside you. This lingering calm is a gift from your dreaming mind, a quiet reassurance that rest doesn't end when you wake. In carrying this peace forward, you give yourself permission to move gently, to think clearly, and to feel anchored in a steadier, kinder rhythm. With the arrival of morning, the mind emerges from sleep refreshed, its tangled thoughts carefully unraveled by the quiet work of the night. Emotions that once felt heavy become softer, clearer, easier to understand. The brain has reorganized itself in silence, restoring balance in ways you never had to control. And for a moment, everything feels like a clean, deep breath, steady, renewing, full of quiet possibility. This gentle reset prepares you for the day, giving you space to start again with more lightness than before. The mind's nightly healing is subtle but powerful, washing away the residue of yesterday and opening room for calm. In this tender renewal, the night leaves behind its final gift, a sense of inner clarity that lingers long after waking. As you rise into wakefulness, the images of your dreams begin to loosen, drifting away like gentle ripples fading across still water. They do not leave abruptly. They soften, blur, and dissolve into the quiet spaces of morning. And for a moment, everything feels tender, touched by the slow fading of a world that held you through the night. Letting dreams go is not forgetting. It is allowing the mind to release what no longer needs to be held. These scenes have already done their work, soothing emotions, untangling thoughts, offering comfort in ways only sleep can. Now they return to silence, leaving behind only the calm you needed. In their fading, there is peace, a gentle reminder that some things are meant to pass softly. In the last quiet moments before the day fully awakens, night takes one final gentle breath. The darkness feels softer, the air calmer, as though the world itself is pausing in gratitude for your rest. Dreams settle completely, leaving your mind clear and open, ready to step into the light. And for a moment, everything feels perfectly still, suspended in a peaceful balance between then and now. This final breath is the night's way of releasing you, offering one last touch of quiet before you move forward. It carries with it the softness gathered in sleep, the healing done in silence, and the calm that will follow you into the day. In this tender transition, the night gently closes its hands, letting you go with peace.